You said. Back and find out as we dive into the story of how a billionaire fell in love with a female construction worker who helped him in distress. In the heart of Legos lived a young woman named Caroline. She was just 24 years old, but had the eyes of someone who had seen too much. Every day before the sun fully came out, she tied a scarf over her rough hair, wore her torn boots, and walked to the dusty construction site down the road. Caroline was not just any worker. She carried blocks on her head, mixed cement with shovel, and pushed wheelbarrows full of sand without a single complaint. Caroline would sweat under the hot sun, earning money the hard way. Life had never been fair to her. When she was only 12, her parents passed away in a bus crash on their way home from the village. Nobody came to help. No relatives took them in. She was left alone with her two younger siblings, Daniel, who was just 8, and Blessing, who had only turned 6. From that moment, Caroline became their mother, their father, and their hope. She sold bread by the roadside at first. Then she washed people's clothes. When that wasn't enough, she begged a mason to teach her how to work at a building site. And that was how she started carrying blocks to survive. But no matter how hard things got, she never complained. Sometimes when her hands were shaking from too much work, she would sit on the edge of the building, look up at the sky, and whisper, "One day things will change." Little did she. The 3 boys and the dish mystery fork and knife with plate. No, change was closer than she thought. Not too far away in the same city lived a young billionaire named Vincent. He was 30 years old, tall, calm, and very private. His face was always on magazines. His name was on billboards. He owned 2 big real estate companies, one in Nigeria and the other in the United States. Everyone talked about how rich he was. But there was something people didn't know about Vincent. He didn't like noise. He didn't go to clubs. He didn't trust fake smiles. Vincent was born into wealth. But he was not proud. His mother, a kind woman with soft eyes, always told him, "Respect everyone, no matter how small they look. True wealth is how you treat others," and he listened. Yet, even with all his money, cars, and houses, something was missing. Vincent had never found the right woman to love. Many women came into his life, beautiful, rich, well-dressed, but something always felt wrong. They acted like love, but it smelled like greed. He would always say he wanted a genuine woman, a woman with virtue, not one who loves my pocket, but one who understands pain, one who sees me, not just what I have. But what Vincent didn't know was that that woman was very close. Fate was already writing their story, and very soon their 2 worlds, so different, so far apart, were about to collide. But not in a way anyone could ever expect. After more than 10 years of living and working in the United States, Vincent decided to return to Nigeria. He didn't come back to show off. He came back for vacation. He wanted 2 quiet months to rest, check on some of the land he owned in different parts of the city, and enjoy simple moments. In the morning, Vincent woke up feeling light. He decided to go shopping and also inspect one of his properties. He wore a plain green t-shirt, jeans, and a face cap. No suit, no flashy cars, just him and one of his regular black SUV. "I just want to breathe today," he said as he picked up his car keys. He drove himself to a nearby supermarket, it not far from the land he planned to inspect. Inside the supermarket, Vincent picked a few snacks, drinks, toothpaste, and other important items. He smiled at the cashier, paid for everything, and carefully slipped his black wallet into his back pocket. But as he walked toward his car, something fell. He didn't notice. It was his wallet. That wallet held everything. His U.S. driver's license, 2 foreign credit cards, his Nigerian ID, business cards, and over $20,000 in cash. When he got into his car, he felt so calm. He even opened a bottle of water and drank slowly before starting the engine. He had no idea what he had just lost. It was about to be shaken. That same morning, Caroline was walking to the construction site, but she had woken up Feeling a bit hungry, so she decided to pass by the supermarket to get a soft drink and snacks. She counted the money in her bag twice to be sure it was enough. After buying what she needed, she stepped out of the supermarket quietly, but something caught her eye. The story of the dish made for his ex-wife. Near the vehicle parking area of the supermarket. A black wallet. She paused. She looked around. Nobody seemed to be searching for anything. She stepped closer, bent down slowly, and picked it up. It felt heavy. She looked inside and saw a lot of foreign money, business cards, and some documents. Caroline's eyes widened. "Ah, who left his wallet?" "Here," she said softly. She took a step back, opened the wallet properly, and saw business cards. She picked one and tried to read the number, but it had an international code. There was no WhatsApp contact and no Nigerian number was listed. She tried to call the foreign number, but it wasn't connecting. For a moment, she looked around again. Nobody had returned to look for anything. She could have walked away. No one would have known, but something in her heart said no. She walked back into the supermarket and went straight to the cashier. "Excuse me," she said. "I found this wallet outside around the parking area. I think it might have fallen out of someone's pocket." The cashier looked surprised. "You mean someone lost this kind of wallet?" the cashier said. Caroline nodded. "Yes, please give it to security. When the owner comes, please return it to him." The cashier stared at her. "You're a nice person. Thank you." She handed the wallet over to the cashier and walked out. At the petrol station not far from the supermarket, Vincent pulled over and got out of his car. The attendant walked up to him with a smile. "Good morning, sir. Is it full tank?" the young man asked. "Yes, please," Vincent said. "Are you paying with debit card or cash?" The attendant asked. "Debit card," Vincent said. "So," the attendant continued, "if you're paying with a debit card, I'd prefer you make the payment first because we usually encounter network downtime sometimes." Then Vincent replied, "Sure, that's okay." Then Vincent reached into his back pocket where he always kept his wallet, but it was empty. He paused. Then he checked his other pocket. Nothing. He opened the car door and searched the front seat under the dashboard between the chairs. Still nothing. He moved to the back seat and looked through his bag, his file folder. Still nothing. His heart started beating fast. "My wallet," he said under his breath, his face slowly changing. "Where's my wallet?" He looked at the pump attendant. "Please give me 1 minute." Vincent jumped into the driver's seat and drove off immediately. As he drove back toward the supermarket, he whispered to himself, "Please, God, let it be there. Let me find my wallet." There. That wallet had everything. Important business cards, his U.S. driver's license, and other important ID cards. Minutes later, he pulled into the supermarket and stepped out fast. He walked straight to the cashier at the counter and said, "Excuse me, please. I was here about an hour ago."